My kids don't talk to me anymore. Hey guys, it's John here, and I wanted to hop on because I have had done a lot of readings lately, and I mean a lot of readings lately. And I've run into, on many occasions, I've run into parents of adult children who the children have decided they're no longer going to speak to them anymore, or have cut off ties with them. And it seems to be something that's very prevalent out there in the world. And usually it involves divorce. But there are also other occasions when it involves controlling personalities, or at least personalities that are deemed to be controlling personalities. And I wanted to jump on and talk about this topic because the interesting thing is the people who tell me this are very upset because their children aren't speaking to them anymore. Their children have cut them out of their lives. And oftentimes it'll also mean that they're lost touch with their grandkids and other parts of the family members like that. So it's a painful situation. But when you think about the situation, a parent losing a child, however they lose it, they lose that love, that expression of love, that thing that's supposed to represent unconditional love, and that in itself cuts right at the core of our very existence, who we are. We come here wanting to be loved. Everyone that you'll ever meet in this world wants to be loved in some form, and I don't necessarily mean romantic love. I mean loved, just appreciated, loved. Accepted for who they are, even. And a lot of times I'll find in the relationship situations that people will cut off their parent when they side with another parent, or the parent has made a mistake in their life and they've decided that person's just evil or a terrible person because they did it. And usually that comes down to them feeling like they betrayed something in the other. So kids will often cut off a parent for that situation. Another thing that I find very, very frequently is kids cutting off parents because the parents haven't stopped treating them like children, even though they're adults. And they're constantly criticizing, constantly trying to get them to do something different, constantly trying to put them into a box or show them what they're doing is wrong or try to get them to do what they want them to do. And over the course of time, that conditional love will push a child away very quickly. Because it's like they just want to be respected and loved. A long time ago, I told you guys the story of the woman who was going to cut off the relationship with her mother. And I told her the next time she saw her mother, tell her mother no matter what she does or says, she'll always love her. And it completely changed their relationship. Well, the reason that this works is because everybody just wants to be loved. And even the controlling nature of a parent who is pushing their children away through control, that parent's trying to control because they're trying to prove they're a good parent and they want the best for their child, usually. There are always circumstances that are different, but for the most cases, that's usually what that situation is. The other situation is in the divorce circumstance, when you have one parent who's left the other parent, oftentimes the one parent who was left will become distraught or sad or angry, and they will lean on their children for support, and they'll do that by bad mouthing the other parent, the one who left. And so, when you're creating a situation in your life, a family situation in your life, you have to remember that every person in that group, in that unit, wants to be loved in some form. And love is where they feel safe. And when their foundations are shaken because love is shaken, then they will cut off relationships with the people who they think betrayed that love or took that love away, or aren't loving them because of the need to control them. And if you really want to save that relationship, number one, and this is going to sound antithetical to everything I've been saying, number one, you have to let go. You have to let go of the relationship. And you have to say, no matter what you do or say, I will always love you. And right now I know that you can't love me. But just know that I will always be here for you, and I will always love you. And there is nothing that can change that. And you may even say, I'm a human, and the circumstances that you're mad at me for, we all have our times in life that we have to make decisions that we may not like, or mistakes even. But I love you no matter what, and if you're interested in a relationship with me, I will always be here. And you have to let them go. And I'll tell you why you have to let them go. Because if you have two people, and one person is constantly coming at the other person saying, why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? This person over here is eventually going to walk away because they keep feeling the pressure, right? But if this person who's been coming suddenly goes back away, this person stops, and then most of the times we'll go, hey, where are you going? Let's work on this, right? You change the dynamic of the situation. It's a matter of giving them their space, giving them the respect, and letting them know that no matter what, you will always love them. And when I say back away, I don't necessarily mean yes, send them Christmas cards, but in those cards, don't say anything that can be construed as a criticism. Just send a message saying, I always love you, period. And just be consistent in always and unconditionally loving them. And eventually they will have to make their own choice. And you have to be okay with them not making the choice that you like. Because the reality of it is, if you love them unconditionally, you would let them have their own choice. And if them not making the choice would be the condition, it's going to fail. You have to be the bright light of love that is ever present, and there is nothing negative, new negative associated with it, because old negatives will be there. And if you really think about this, if you're in the situation where your ex is saying bad things to the kid, the longer you stay in the loving light and the longer the other one complains about you, eventually they're going to get tired of the complaining. They're going to get tired of the bad-mouthing because their experience with you will be only loving because that's all you're going to give them. And when you do that, you'll talk to your kids again. And that'll be how they'll come back to you. By you being love, they'll be attracted to the love. That's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.